like the way I've been treated here, and I'm going to fire everyone who...
Now that's what I call wrestling. Hey there, sports fan. My name is Kit, and this is Now That's What I Call Wrestling, the good, bad wrestling show. This is the show where we take a deep dive into the best of the worst, and we come out feeling conflicted at best. We all wrestle with a lot of things in our everyday lives, but one thing we can all agree on is that we can all at times wrestle with insecurity. And if you want to know some of the most insecure people on the planet, well, that's performers. We're going to take a deep dive into what makes insecurity tick, into some of the best good, bad wrestlers on the planet. And it is worth noting that for this episode, I do need your consent to take the Chicago Challenge, because at least one of our clips is going to be coming from our friends at Chicago Challenge Wrestling. And as you know, that's some of the best, worst, good, bad wrestling in the history of the planet. So buckle up.
I asked Bob Luce to let anybody punch me in the jaw. Listen, I got a lot of pride and a lot of courage.
So we're starting out hot here on Chicago Challenge Wrestling with one Moose Cholak sitting next to the one and only Alan Shimper.
You know, I went to sleepaway camp so long ago that it was the Stone Age.
And we get the exposition right off the bat. That's what I love about good, bad wrestling, is it gets right to the point. He asked promoter Bob Luce, hey, I want anyone to come on television and punch me in the face. How does this relate to our theme of insecurity? Well, do I have to do the math for you? This guy feels like he's got to prove himself. He's got to prove his toughness so much that he has to get on television and have people punch him in the face and pretend like it doesn't hurt. Now that's what I call insecurity.
And listen, I don't want to even stand here. I'm humiliated. I don't want this to go on.
What? We need a little more backstory, my guy. Like what? My parents have humiliated me for enough years. I have enough childhood trauma I can't deal with, and I'm not going to let this go on anymore. The only way I can get it to stop is if guys come out and punch me in the face on TV. That'll be the end of it. I can't sleep till that happens.
I'm leaving because I think that I should have the chance to prove that I can take anybody's punch, and I'm just leaving.
I love these microphones. I love that nobody thought that they could just run the cord underneath the person's shirt, so they have like a 12-foot microphone cord just like coming up. Also, down to the left here, looks like we do have Prince Valiant here with us, so that's exciting.
Moose, please. Bob Luce don't want me to have the punch shown on television. I'm leaving. Because I ain't going to come back here no more. I came on this show for a couple years here.
There's something to be said about someone taking a stand, right? I mean, guy wants to get punched in the face. Listen, I don't know. I'm not here to kink shame anybody. If he wants to get punched in the face on TV, that's the only way he can finish. That's great. I understand that. If he's a willing participant, I support his right to get punched in the face on bad television. Although the guy at the left is not comfortable with the... I think Prince Valiant here on our left seems to be mostly uncomfortable because Moose Cholak's pants appear to be consuming him slowly, like a boa constrictor.
It's the pants that ate Fred Mertz. Although they appear to be typical menswear, these pants are a parasite.
And all right, now I got what I wanted. Bob Luce gave me what I want. Now I'm going to resolve the station, Channel 44 here, of all responsibility than Bob Luce.
So we've gone forward in time. They went to commercial and came back, and finally Moose Cholak has the permission that he needed to get punched in the face by somebody on television. Finally, people understand what he needs.
Now I'm going to take this punch, and I know I'm going to come out, and I'll see you tonight in Hammond. Nobody's going to knock me down. Nobody ever did, not even a Chicago streetcar or bus.
Not even a Chicago. So Moose Cholak is implying that he has been hit by a Chicago streetcar or a bus in the face and still didn't go down. These guys don't stand a chance.
Are you ready to go, Larry? Here you go down.
Are these chefs? Like what kind of hats are these guys? Are these guys from like 1960s space? Like what are these kind of hats are these guys wearing? These guys are wearing, do you remember those little on your grandma's couch when you were a kid, over the arm of the couch, there were like these like little covers these like dust covers that went over the arm of the. When I was a kid, we used to put those on our head and run around for some reason. That's what these guys are wearing.
Right here. Now listen. Now wait. Now put this right here. Give me your best shot.
It sucks that Moose Cholak is going to get punched in the face by Bob from the Batman movie.
And Bob, remember, you are my number one guy.
Harder than that. Harder.
These guys are dressed like guys that Batman beats up at the beginning of the scene. So, like, is the challenge punch Moose in the face until he does finally fall down?
You'll never knock me.
You all right, Moose? Are you all right, Moose?
I'm all right. I'll be in here. These guys take their best thing, their best shot. Get it right here. Oh, right there. Oh.
Okay. So, oh my God. So this guy, henchman number 2, had a wooden board hidden underneath of a jacket. He was just holding. No one noticed this big stiff jacket that the guy had standing up by itself beside him. And while a punch directly to the jaw 8 or 9 times will do nothing, one of the thin wooden pieces from like when you get a couch delivered to your house and they put the little like framing inside of the cardboard or whatever, one of those kind of like perfectly center of the board on the forehead at the side at like just kind of like a dainty little dink in the side will take Moose Cholak down immediately. Punches can't do it. A Chicago streetcar can't do it. A Chicago bus can't do it. A streetcar named Desire can't do it. Hey, Now, a quick warning. Typically in professional wrestling, when somebody falls down and has their hands at their face for a very long time, usually there's some pro wrestling magic happening.
He took a plywood board.
Dirty, rotten bugs. I told you I couldn't trust them guys. Who come in with a piece of board?
Fargo.
You know, the best laid plans of mice and men, man. You know, like you can plan for everything all you want. You can think like, hey, I'm getting up in the morning. I'm going to put on my best short sleeve mustard yellow shirt. I'm going to put on my highest and tightest brown pants. I'm going to slather my head with Grecian formula to get that nice shoe polish look. But I tell you one thing I didn't account for. Someone showing up at the pro wrestling studio with a thin board and smacking me right in the side of the head, and then it's somehow cutting the front of my head. You can't plan for stuff like that. You know, they say they know how to fall.
Where they at? Look what they've done to me.
I guess the most shocking part of this is that they've ruined his beautiful face.
There were 2 epidemics when I went to camp. Head lice and the plague. The bubonic plague.
Just absolute pro wrestling tragedy. Speaking of pro wrestling tragedies, we would be remiss in this episode about insecurity if we didn't visit one of my favorite, maybe my absolute favorite clips of all time in the history of wrestling, sports, fake sports, Mutant League football. Absolutely one of my favorite clips of all time. The one and only Paul Christie. So this segment is hosted by the legendary Lou Thez, who has no business being on this show about Good Bad Wrestling because he's an actual legend. He just happens to be in one of the best Good Bad segments of all time. And while I respect Lou Thez immensely, I do want to say that Lou Thez here does look like he just wants to know that you're going to get his grandkids baptized, and that way he can die knowing that they're going to be in heaven with him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, some wrestlers do like to hurt people, and they go through that thing. But
put that on my tombstone. Some wrestlers like to hurt people, and they do go through that thing.
Some like to injure people permanently.
Hey,
ignorance off the thing. Hey, what do you mean, what's wrong with hurting people, Fez? Huh? Camera.
Well, hurting people is fine, but there's...
We're off to a great start. Ignorance. Using ignorance as a name for somebody is absolutely melted brain activity. I love the casual titty pop, right? Like he's doing the chest pop, but like it's almost like involuntary. Like he's like, "Hey, camera, ding, ding." He's like he knows what the people want to see. It's instinctual. Paul Christie, right here with his pompadour haircut, with his sparkly bow tie. Which, real quick, that bow tie, that's a theater trick. That is elastic all the way, my man. Like, that is just easy on, easy off. The sparkly vest, the pleated dress pants, and appears to be holding an exquisitely expensive top hat. Paul Christie looks like you booked a magician-themed stripper.
Huh? Camera.
Well, hurting people is fine, but to do it permanently is not too
It's
well.
like 4 months that you interviewed me. I come out again, you invite me again, and you go through that same motor mouth. Hey, ignorance, please. They want to hear me, all right? Muscle control, huh? I don't get up here and brag, though, about the muscles I have. Like this guy, Stamzy, Stormzy, Stanzik, or what's up there. Oh, gee,
I don't know Stamzy, Stormzy, or Stimzik, but just based on his name, I already like him. Already would fit right in on this show. Please send in your tapes.
I'm going to do my best, all right? Big old Spike Huber. Stand up here. Did you ever see him? Can he move? He walks like this. What's he got something wrong with his shoulders, his arms? Another one. Oh, shucks, Mom, I'm going to do it real good. From the country. They remind me of you, Lou. Sitting down, a little tired, boy.
So I think they had to do reshoots on this interview, and they couldn't get Lou Thez, so they just got his statue from Madame Tussauds and brought it in and sat it there for the cameras. I would love if this interview was actually part of an unknown Weekend at Bernie's type situation here, like Weekend at Thez's, where a promoter booked Lou Thez to be on his TV show that weekend and blew all the promotion's money on it. And Lou Thez actually died the night before. They're supposed to shoot everything, so they brought Lou Thez in and like tied his arm. You know, they super glued a microphone in his hand, like tied his arm to a thing so he could like go up like this and like do the interview. And someone's just like off stage, like doing the Lou Thez voice.
Down. See that? And then she sits on my front. I didn't like to move when you first came up here anyways. Stand up here first, and I will sit down like a gentleman. See how I treat my woman? Classy guy.
Paul Christie giving like dog-like commands to his partner here is, if it's an act, it's brilliant. If it's not an act, girl, call the police.
All right?
You are
Now,
classy.
first
I
of
can
all,
see
hey,
that.
ignorance. Please. I don't have to be here, you know. I could be in Hawaii on the beach or something. I would be sitting here with you.
The cool thing about this segment is after it was over, the ventriloquist actually drank water while Lou Thez sang Moon River.
Boy, you're still wearing them Kmart's, huh, Lou? That's real good.
It's a bold statement for a guy wearing a Party City outfit to be accusing someone of wearing a Kmart suit. The tragic part about this is, because this is all like pre-Amazon, right? Like this is like 1987 or something. So like there's no online ordering. Truthfully, that vest probably cost him a modern day equivalent of like $300.
Let me explain something, too. I brought on something. I'm a classy guy, all right? What's this guy that wears around some hard hat? If I was ever going to wear a hat, I would wear something like this.
I like it presented as a hypothetical situation. Like, listen, I wouldn't wear a hard hat. I'm not going to wear like a Napoleon hat. I'm not going to wear a ball cap. If pervert, I was ever going to wear a hat, it would be this beautiful top hat. If
Mr. Cool Guy.
looking at the camera and saying Mr. Cool Guy is the most epic shit you can ever do. Is there a reason why Paul Christie's sad girlfriend is out here? I feel so bad for this lady. Like, she's clearly not a performer. She's just out there for him to play the character of like the abusive douchebag guy. But it really feels like she'd just rather be anywhere but here, right? It really just feels like she'd rather be dead than be on camera. She'd rather be Thez than be on camera.
You know what's happening here? I'm sitting there. You're trying to interrupt me. She's sitting there trying to look pretty, jumping up on the stage, getting in front of me. You're trying to talk me, do this, do that. I never did like that little move, you little creep. And I just, here's like little my little shucks. I'll tell you one thing, I'm a classy guy, and if I see any guy out there ever, like, hit any females, I don't go for it.
We've come to the point of the clip that troubles me. I guess the whole thing troubles me. But if this is a bit, and it's just like trying to be clever in the sense of like, here's just this piece of shit character that you're not really allowed to play these days because people would see this and be like, oh, this guy, throw him off. But he's playing a heel. He's playing a villain. If it's intentional to be like, hey, let me show the irony of like this guy's like doing all these things and then saying like, I hate guys who do that, then it's brilliant. If this is just him being a piece of shit, well, then he's just a piece of shit. You decide. And go ahead and fill the comments so I have to read a bunch of things that people are upset about.
Every once in a while, a little pat on the back, a little elbow, all right, is fine, all right?
Quick note, it's not fine, all right?
But don't, there you go again. You're thinking these weird thoughts again, Tez. Talk wrestling, don't talk about my personal business, all right?
And you talk about wrestling without trying to injure someone.
As the interview goes on, Paul Christie's hair begins to transfigure more and more into Bill Murray from Kingpin.
Permanently.
I don't have to be here, ignorance. I don't have to be here. I told you before, 4 months ago? I can buy you 20 times over, and next time do it right. Now I'm not going to sit in this little goofy square here in front of so you can just move here, move there, ignorance.
This is the type of stuff I talk to my daughters about all the time where I'm like, look, and there are people watching this who are going to be like triggered by this, but fuck them. I tell my kids this all the time. 90% of the bullshit you have to deal with your life is going to be navigating insecure dudes. Like, that's just the truth. It's going to suck. This is such a perfect example, and this is performance, and I know it is, but it's just it's art imitating life. A man who wants this one particular thing, and then when people are trying to do it for him, it's never correct. It's never going to be right. All he wants to do is to be interviewed by Lou Thez. So then he's like, okay, Lou Thez tries to interview him, and he's like, shut up, why are you talking? And then it's like, okay, well, you want to be on TV? Well, you have to go here because of the cameras, here because of the lights, you got to sit on this square. It's brilliant. It's why it's one of the best clips that's ever happened. Because again, I don't know the full story here, but I have to at least hope that this is just Paul Christie being a brilliant performer. Or maybe just as good. Real piece of shit.
And maybe the people who could hear me, if you could put that thing closer to my face, all right? And come in this way and get the pretty side of my face. I don't like the way I've been treated here, and I'm going to fire everyone who...
Now that's what I call wrestling.